Hey. How you doing, buddy?
Better now.
Better now? It's a long weekend. Here we are working on a Monday night.
Oh, it's been a long day of drawing for me.
Yeah? No holiday for you?
Golfing and having some fun. Had a barbecue and stuff here. And it's probably the last weekend for that, kind of. So
yeah.
Wanted to have one of those in. So I'm like, I'll just save Monday to get everything done.
Yeah.
I had the rough ready, but I had to ink all day. So
labor on Labor Day, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Labor Day is right. So, but what about you?
We took a couple days off over the weekend. Myself and a bit of the crew here from Ray went over to Soho House.
Hello, Mama, Dad.
Hey, Sarah. We went over to Soho House to put a dent in a bit of the credit they've offered us as lube because we weren't able to use the club for a while, and we did some serious drinking and relaxing on Saturday. Sunday was a bit of a lazy day, but back here on holiday, Labor Day Monday. Drawing away, prepping things, lots of stuff going on this month with Raid, with my own work schedule. It seems, I feel like it's going to be a little bit psychotic over the next
I think the next
3 weeks.
I'm really looking forward to the Raid retreat because then I know everything's done.
It's funny because you say that we're putting Raid 4 to bed and to the printer. Getting it ready. I have a deadline literally a day before we go for Stillwater, and then a few other things, some covers and a few other things. I'm just same thing.
Yeah.
When I get there, first couple of days I'm just gonna kick up my feet and relax.
Turn off.
Yeah, just turn off, watch some movies, have some drinks with friends, relax.
Speaking of drinks, what do you got today, buddy?
I am going to my regular, as always, my little tequila. Tequila, it's good for you. It's a probiotic.
Tequila.
Let's pour myself a couple of fingers here.
I got and I bought some Diet Coke vanilla extra caffeine. So I'm doing that with a strong rum.
Okay.
I'm I need the boost to get this done. I'm tired. Yeah. And I want to just get this out the door.
I'm throwing a little bit of sugar in my tequila, a little bit of ginger ale, a little bit of Canada Dry because I'm Canadian. Still water. All right, buddy.
Cheers, buddy.
Well, welcome to Happy Holiday.
Yeah. A Labor Day weekend. Labor.
That's a strong mix. Hello.
That's good.
That's going to perk me up tonight.
Yeah. You staying on after to draw a bit more or what?
Oh, for sure. I got to finish up some layouts tonight and nailed down some story elements for a project. So a little bit of everything. So yeah, definitely be here. We'll continue drawing on after
make more
shit Monday.
Yeah. Speaking of making awesome stuff, we got a really cool friend of ours on here tonight.
Yeah,
I guess we should also say I'm Eric Vedder. You're Ramón K.
Yeah, and this is what?
Make Shit Monday.
There you go.
We didn't do it last week, I think, and I was we just slid right into stuff not that people need to know.
That's true. Yeah, they know these two fools already.
You took off. Now you're Ramon, not Calavera Kid. You got rid of it.
I was just doing some stuff, and I just quickly threw my name in. Sorry, I think people still know who I am, so we're good.
Yeah, I think
we're good. But yeah, tonight's guest, longtime friend of ours. He's got an amazing Kickstarter campaign going on right now. Eisner nominated, very handsome, from and also a fellow Canadian actually, Cary Nord.
Cary Nord. Hey, buddy.
Hey, fellas.
This nice dramatic lighting too.
Ooh, I know, right?
Cheers, buddy.
I love this lighting.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah. Thank
you for having me. It's about time.
We just need Andy Belanger, and then we got the Lethal Comics trifecta. So
he's off to Spain today, I think.
Oh wow!
All right. Did you guys do Carl already? You had Carl, didn't you?
Yeah,
we had Carl. I think second episode,
second or third,
right.
And
nice.
hopefully we get Andy on when he gets back from Spain, and Crawford J. Hey Jay, or hey Crawford.
Is he going where we were supposed to go, Ramon?
Yes, he is.
Funny how that worked
out. Gotta go, guys.
I felt bad, man, because it was that show, Aviles, is Jornadas de Aviles, which is a show in northern Spain, and it's like hands down one of my favorite conventions I've ever done.
Wow.
From like a social, like it's just so different and so interesting. It's like outside one of those like central markets of a European city, so it's not inside of a building.
Oh wow!
At all, and you just basically sit in the market square at all the bars and pubs, and over the course of the day, people just buy you drinks and
Oh my
food
God.
in lieu of paying for like quick sketches, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
I feel like I would.
That sounds like a lot of food. Like,
I mean, it's
At the end of the
good.
day.
You know, you can have 12 pints, you can have a couple of meals. Oh yeah, we got a Lethal Comics fan here.
what?
He's new. He's new.
Ooh, Sam Noir.
That's right.
One
He is
for
a winner. Yeah.
Oh damn.
It was actually funny, Cary. I was doing a bit of research on some stuff the other day, and it came up on a YouTube video that you did unpublished work for Micronauts. Is this true?
This is very true. I did, yeah.
Does it exist out there somewhere?
You know, some guy bought all the original art.
Oh shit! I was gonna say I'd like to snag one page or two.
You know, he went and like, because some of it was like scattered around, like an inker had half the book when they canceled, and
Okay.
it's sort of just like a mess. And then, do you remember when Marvel went bankrupt around that time?
Yeah.
So something along that time when like half the editorial staff just disappeared. And I'm like, where's my art? Where's my project? Do I have a job? And
Oh god.
I think that was the time. Like, it was a while ago. I'm getting
Oh,
details
man.
confused. But anyway, he found all this art and managed to not only like get it all in one place, but he had it colored, and I don't think he published it, but he made a book
Oh shit.
for maybe himself, like personal. Yeah, I think
Really?
he put it online somewhere on a website.
Oh,
So
man.
it is out there for people to see if you can find it.
It got me really curious. I'm like, because I was looking up like weird '70s like sci-fi and toy stuff, and I was like, this guy just starts talking. He's like, yeah, Cary Nord did that. I'm like, what? So it's always fun when you find out cool shit like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But now you're doing cooler shit, so that's the more important part.
Doing your own shit, man.
You're doing your own
Yeah,
shit,
it's the
Lethal
best
Comics, buddy.
Yeah.
You guys have been kicking it over in Montreal.
Oh yeah.
With the Kickstarters and just like cranking out some amazing work, like you, Andy, and Carl. How's it feel?
I mean, like, so how long have I known you? I've been doing, I think since I got to Raid, we were talking about doing like create our own stuff. That was like
Oh yeah.
6-7 years ago.
Yeah, about
So
there.
finally I got something off the ground.
Yeah, because you had a couple of other projects in development, like with a few writers or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so when this came up, I was actually expecting one of those.
Yeah,
So
I know, right?
I was completely blindsided when I saw this, which was like a 180-degree turn from like the other stuff was very tech oriented, and this is very kind of like high fantasy. I'm guessing
For sure,
mythology kind of vibe I'm getting from it.
That's right, yeah.
But I'm loving the design, like how you're playing with like graphic design and like classic illustration, like with the stars and just you're
Yeah, big fan of that.
blowing me away, buddy. Blowing me
Thank
away.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm very curious to see. It was super fun to force myself into an illustration for it.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I was actually surprised that Eric's was not one of the censored versions. That's right up Eric's alley, and suddenly I'm seeing a fully clothed.
No,
Yeah,
no,
right?
I was just like, I just want to do something, and I don't know. I
Like
wanted to help out because
that page there.
we all love Cary, right? So
Oh yeah, but I mean, you be doing one for every guy's campaign.
yeah, he was the last one, so I was like, I got to do one for Care Bear too.
Oh.
So, but yeah, it's looking so cool, man. Look how beautiful that looks. It's so
Thanks,
fun.
man.
Oh, it's killer, man.
Can't wait to see it all.
Me either.
And you're kind of, I heard it was interesting that you're like kind of playing around, and I've kind of seen this develop in your work at cons when you do your commissions, but you're kind of like foregoing your traditional pencils, inks, colors.
Oh,
You're just
God,
kind of,
yeah.
You're kind of building it organically from what I can tell. Like you're just slapping in colors, paints, textures. Like it looks like you're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, like, I don't know what I'm doing, so everything
But But that's
It's like, oh, look at this. This works.
It's like the trick
Why
of
not?
genius when like what's his name, Orson Welles was doing Citizen Kane, and the cameraman was like, "You can't do this," and the other guy's going, "No, don't tell him we can't do that. Let's get some cool shit out of it." So
Right, yeah.
So no pressure. You're like Orson Welles, right?
Yeah.
So
Right,
no
yeah,
pressure.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
Let's see what. Oh yeah, just a weird dude.
It's a weird dude. What?
Is this your book, Eric?
Yeah, this is just a weekly comic I'm always working on.
I
So
didn't know you even did a weekly comic.
yeah, we launched. It's cool that you're paying attention to what I'm doing.
Well, I got that other one that you have going. Like, you're part of that. Like, I assume that Ard.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
the
I'm trying to like
H is silent.
see. I've never actually said it out loud before. It's just like, 2 A's and a D, I think.
It's missing a lot of letters, but it's fine. It's a short version of that name. I'm joking.
But
Yeah, no, just more working on this, man. So
Sweet.
this is our a new character that's joined our little crew. So
are you writing it yourself, Gary?
Yeah. Actually,
Dude. That's awesome, man.
yeah. I mean, like, I've never written anything before either, so it's a whole new learning curve over there as well. You know,
But you got a bunch of great guys that you can run shit over with. You know, like Andy.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. You know, being part of that studio atmosphere where you can kind of go, "Hey, does this sound stupid? This is awesome. What's going on?"
And they're like, every time I asked them that, they said, "Yes, it sounds stupid." Stop.
like,
Damn
please stop it. We have standards at Lethal here. Come on.
Come on. So what's your hope? Are you hoping to do like one issue a year? I know this is probably like a loaded
God.
question, or like 2 issues a year. Like it's a lot of work, right? Because as you're
Yeah.
probably in the middle of it, you're like running a Kickstarter is a fuck ton of work.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, I had no idea. I'm hoping the second one will be better because that learning curve was really steep, and then
Yeah,
once you have it all set up, it seems like
it's kind of
Not so
automatic
daunting?
yeah, exactly, in a bit of a way.
Yeah. What like knowing what's happening now, what you're going through. Is there anything else that you would kind of do different, or that you didn't expect while you're in the middle of it now?
for the campaigning, you mean? Oh, look at that. That's great. Let's see. What would I do differently? I think just more preparation in the right kind of ways. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
knowing what to expect helps because I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Even on, like, basic things like, I've never done any real graphics design stuff. So, like, all those images on the Kickstarter, the tiers and all that. Like, I'm just like, how do I put letters in Clip Studio? I've never done that before. And so,
Clip Studio's
You
the
know.
worst for that too.
oh, is it? I have nothing to compare it to. So I finally figured it out, but like it took me, just like way too many 20-hour days. You're just like, come on, this is going live in a day. I gotta figure this out. The day when we actually launched, I hadn't even gone to sleep because I was trying to still like get all this stuff done,
Get it all
the
done.
graphics tiers and all that. And at about 8 in the morning, I finally finished it and then headed over to the studio and launched. So all this stuff started happening after that. I was so tired. I was like,
Like I'll be back tomorrow.
no idea what was going on.
Well, how quickly did it get funded? Like half an hour.
You
within
went quick. Yeah.
the hour, yeah.
But you're not. What are you asking for? Like, was it only 10 grand or something?
Yeah, 10 grand.
Yeah.
It's
So
to cover like basic printing and shipping, I think.
Yeah.
it's at close to 70 now. That's amazing, man.
Oh,
No,
isn't that
that's
crazy?
Wicked. That's wicked. No, yeah. You're gonna at least hit 100K, I think, or just around there, anyways. I bet.
Wow, yeah.
I don't know. That's my prediction.
I like your prediction. I hope you are right.
Just don't pull a Dale Keown where you make all the money and you disappear and you never have a Pit issue 2 until 5 years later.
Right, yeah. Well, one of the things that's nice about, speaking of preparation, is like, this actually gives me, should give me a little bit of time to like actually work on the next book, right?
Oh, that's
you can-
exactly it, right?
Yeah, which is so I hope to have like the book halfway done by the time like they even launch next time,
Yeah.
Yeah. How many pages is this one? Sorry, I might be in the Kickstarter already, but I didn't read.
30, I think, or something.
30 pages of story, yeah, and then 36 pages in the book with
Nice.
Nice.
extra stuff and all that.
I'm surprised. I mean, I think it'd be a given for your stuff, especially. I mean, even Andy's. Andy's pages are packed full.
Oh man.
Like, hold on a second here.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah, his detail is bananas, man.
No, so just like I got his book here, which I mean, the quality on these books is great.
Yeah,
you guys are going through Marquis, I think, in Quebec.
Yeah.
But like just packed full of shit.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm actually surprised you guys never went like BD size, like Euro size. Just went like hardcover, full, graphic pages. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. Hey, like, how do you feel?
Because like
the market would receive that, like, I mean, such a North American market.
Yeah, I guess you could always do like, because Europe, like their BDs are like 40 pages usually, so you guys are just 10 pages shy of like a Euro graphic novel.
Yeah.
Right. And
do you think that scares people off in North America, or they embrace it now, or what?
What hardcovers you mean? Like
just the Euro style, like the larger format. And
I mean,
it doesn't fit in those boxes, man. Like you can't put that in a short box.
I think it depends I guess it depends on the market you're trying to go for. Because this is obviously like, this is your collector, comic shelf, monthly kind of vibe, right? Like you're getting, I mean, the good thing is you do this, you can always repackage it as a hardcover down the line. You know what I mean? Or if a Euro publisher picks it up, they have a 30-pager and you put some like sketches or something in the back and you got a 40-page book, right? So, I mean, it still works. But, do I have any of those here? But I'm not sure if I do. But yeah, I think it would. I mean, the good thing is you can like repackage, rebrand, and suddenly you have something for the European market as well, right? Buy all this stuff. Please come to Fan Expo. Someone wants you at Fan Expo.
Oh man,
are you guys actually doing it?
Andy is. I think. I don't know.
Oh, you're not coming to the Fan Expo, eh?
No.
Lame.
No. Yeah. Conventions are just a kind of a dicey thing this year, anyway.
They are, yeah. I mean,
I'm not sure how I feel about them either yet.
Are you guys both going or what?
Well, I mean, it's a local show, so I'll be checking it out.
Right.
And also, like, we have. Well, by that point, we'll have. It's in October, so we'll have 2 raid books that are out. We have the Mr. Monster, and we have Force Folk, which is actually arriving from the printer this week. So. We were hoping to have Raid 4 for it as well, but that's not going to be till Christmas. But I figure like it's one of those places like when we do like obviously this will be a different kind of show, but in the past when we've done Fan Expo, we usually sell a good 200 to 500 copies. I know it's a bit of a range, but it depends on the show of the book, right? And that usually. It's good advertising. People come pick it up. They've never seen it before, or they have you have repeat buyers that are like coming back, who bought the previous volume the previous year. So,
do you find that you're getting more repeat?
Oh customers?
Yeah, like they're interested in following along.
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember Eric even said that like the last con, he was like they came up and they were like talking about Arden and they were like can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah.
And he got all like excited.
Oh sweet.
I'm easily excited though, so
You're easily excited?
Yeah. But it was really neat to have fans come up and go, "Oh, you guys did that story. That one's crazy." I'm like, "That's the point. It's doing wild stuff." But it sucked that like we haven't touched it really in so long because of COVID and everything. Just felt like a big life interruption across the board. So
oh god, yeah.
It took forever to kind of get refocused and plan like what the hell are we doing now?
Yeah.
So it's exciting now, but I feel like it took me a little bit to get going. And having you guys Kickstarter all the time, it's like, okay, it's like fuel to like start doing more shit. Like when Dak started, and then it was immediately followed up by Andy, and then Carl's, and now yours. I'm like, and then we got Raid 4 on the corner. This is the Dracula thing we're doing too, and it's like, holy shit.
Oh, what's the Dracula thing? Do I know about this?
Oh, it's not us particularly. It's from I think it's Slam Tome Press they're called, and
so we're just contributing art. Sorry,
Martin Slam Duncan, who maybe you might have been on a live stream of his show. I'm not sure, but he's doing like kind of like a Dracula Visions, kind of like artists interpreting the classic Dracula text, basically. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I finally did a sketch for it on the weekend that I'm going to take to final. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like to try and different stuff every time I do one. So I got an idea for this. We'll see what happens.
There you go. Yeah, I got coerced into doing the cover now for the hardcover, so I got pressure.
Good. More on your plate. I like it.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing. More on my plate. It's like, oh God, so much to do.
What are you working on right now, Ramon? Like, what's Stillwater, I guess? Eh?
Yeah, Stillwater's my monthly gig, and working on that with Chip, and it's been great. It's like a very different switch up from like years at Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So. And then I got a few other smaller things I've been working on. I got a one shot I got coming out from Image.
Oh, really?
It hasn't been announced yet, so I can't really say anything about it. But I'm actually really excited with what I get to do with it. It's going to be fun to just dive back into traditional media, something I haven't done in quite a while. Yeah. It'll make Jason happy. He'll have shit to sell again.
Yeah, no kidding. Man, I'm like pretty new to this digital thing, but I can't even see going back. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I'm getting more and more into it, and I'm like, this is the best.
I think for me, it's like I love digital. Like I mean, I do like every day. I'm working on all my work digitally. It's a glorious thing. Mm-hmm. I think for me, just diving back into the traditional is to get a look or a feel that I can't get traditionally, that I can't get digitally. Because like I find there's certain aspects of like traditional that can only happen in traditional. Like when
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those are the aspects I want to bring to this one shot I'm doing for Image, and those happy mistakes, the controlled environment, whatever it might be. So it's gonna be scary. Because it's like if I fuck up, I fuck up. But at the same time, I'm excited to get that energy in place.
When's the last time you did a traditional book?
The last one I worked on.
I guess you were doing
Hawkeye. Hawkeye was the last one I did. That was weird because half that book I did digitally and the other half I did traditionally.
Oh, okay.
And then sometimes I would like, depending on the page, I might go full traditional. Mm-hmm. But so it's it's been a while basically. But after doing a lot of digital, I'm actually looking forward, because that must have been 2016 or 15. So it's been quite a while since I've actually tackled anything traditionally. So I am actually looking forward to kind of playing around in the traditional realm again.
Cool.
I mean, it'll just be fun to experiment and add that random factor to the art that comes with inking, and
it sharpens you up. Hey, like when you're doing it on the like traditional, there's less room for mistakes, or you can make a mistake, but it's really annoying. So I find it like much more focused. It's like I don't want to screw this up.
Yeah, and I mean, you do all your commissions traditionally, and as you know, it's like you can fuck it up, and then you kind of like, okay, how can I save this, or how can I work with it, or whatever, right? So sometimes you bring out the whiteout, but other times you're like, I can work with this,
Right.
So
yeah.
that's what I'm kind of excited.
That's when I'm like, splatter.
Exactly.
Splatter. This fixes everything.
Right. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to doing. I'm just like splattering thumbprints, getting messy, getting energetic with the stuff, right? So I'm hoping to bring it into play by I'll probably hit the book sometime in October, November. So between issues of Stillwater, so it'll be interesting to kind of shake off the cobwebs, if you will, right?
How long is your run on Stillwater, Ramon?
Oh, I can't reveal that.
Okay. Fair enough.
That might just give too much information to Mama Deadhead.
Yeah.
But We got a long story plan, basically. It's going to take
Cool.
me a while still to pull off. But Chip does have a finite vision for the end of the book, so
Very
which
cool.
I like. Which I like actually. I don't like books that go on forever, like like Spider-Man or whatever. I mean, I love the character, I love the comics, but really much at the end of the day, the characters just reset. They go back to whatever it was, and the next guy comes in and does something. Becomes kind of repetitive.
And the only thing anyone ever really talks about is like the original.
Yeah,
when things were happening,
Yeah, like the what is it like? You have those stories that are like the seminal stories of the characters, but it's funny because at the same time, they're seminal stories, but they also just kind of become not really valid because the character just gets written and drawn by so many different authors and creative teams that it just doesn't matter because the character has a template, right? That never changes. Like Spider-Man is always Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's like Peanuts.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
Like it loses its edge after a while.
Exactly, and I've always
Which is
wanted
always
to work...
why it's amazing when you can see a creative team do something groundbreaking with a character again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every once in a while it happens.
No, I agree. Like, actually, we got a question for you
Yeah, we
here,
got a
Cary.
question here, guys.
Is there any titles any of us would like to work on other than your own? Other than our own.
I want to work on Nod and Fol'Klor.
They don't
Fol'Klor
know
and
that.
Nod, my two.
That doesn't mean anything to anybody. Well, Fol'Klor does, not Nod. I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I have these like funny. I love B-list characters because they're so much fun to work with. Like for years, I've been trying to pitch a Marvel Starjammers series or do like a Atari Force for DC or something weird like that. But I don't know who I'd like to work on. I never really have any kind of checklists, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I don't really have any either at the moment. I'm just kind of happy doing this finally.
Yeah, like I mean, they're like in certain characters. Like I like Betty Ray Bill. I love Moon Knight. So if an opportunity came to work on one of these characters, I might be cool to add them to my rogues gallery of books that I've worked on over the years. How about you, Cary? I mean, you've gone around. You've been doing this for like 20 years now.
God, more than that. Coming up on 30 years, guys. I think in February it'll be my. I started in '93, so what is this?
Wow, yeah, that'll be next
28
year.
years, yeah.
No, that'll be what year?
28 years, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 years.
Oh wait, 29 years in
Yeah,
February.
29. Yeah,
Holy
exactly.
shit. I think I'm old. Does that mean I'm old?
Yeah, you're old, but whatever. We're all old.
There's
There's
another question or a comment here from Will Excel for Gary there.
Oh,
2013 Fan Expo.
I believe you. Oh, crazy. Yeah. Good.
No.
I mean, not that you're too intimidated, but I'm glad I gave it to you and wasn't a total dick. That's
Cary's like thinking, going, "Did I respond? Did I respond?"
Yeah. Who knows, man? 2013.
Man, that would have been. Actually, that probably would have been around the time you were here, maybe. No.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
2013. That's probably. When did I meet you, Cary? Yeah, I was at Raid Studios, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Probably around then. Yeah.
2014, maybe.
Because I remember the first time I kind of met Cary was at a show it was at Heroes Con, and I haven't done that in a while. That was like, I think 2013 or 2012 was the first time I met you, I think, Cary.
Yeah, I think that was almost before I came to.
It was,
Raid,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, because I remember I met you. It was like at the barbecue that they have after the show's done at that party.
Yep.
And I think we were just like chilling out and chatting, and you're like, oh shit, just like small world, and then yeah, 2 or 3 years later, you're like, I moved to Toronto. I'm like, all right.
It was like 2 or 3 months, I think, before, wasn't it?
Oh really? Oh,
because you just won all your. When did you win all your Eisners?
That would have been 2012.
Oh, maybe you're right. I don't know. No, I came in 2012 though.
To Toronto?
To raid, yeah. Well, to
okay.
Toronto, I came in the fall, so I think almost right after that summer.
It probably would have been
Maybe.
2013 or 2014 would have been when we moved down a floor in the old space, which is around the time you joined. So probably 2013 or 2014 around there.
Yeah, I was only in Toronto for 2 years.
Yeah, short time, and then you went to Montreal,
Yep.
then back home, now back to Montreal.
Yeah. I cannot stay in one spot.
You're a
Then the
man.
law catches up with me, and then I got to
man-
run.
A man of the world. A man of the world.
I gotta
I don't know
move,
what
baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
That's that line from Heat.
Oh, sorry, man. What was that?
That line from Heat. Don't get attached to anything you can't drop in 30 seconds.
That's a good movie, man. I gotta watch that again.
You is Fol'Klor like the dream come true project, or is it part of something bigger? Like, is there something else on the horizon, or is this it kind of thing?
Is this it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, for now, this is definitely what I want to work on. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I've had kind of in the back of my mind for the last 3 or 4 years.
What were you working at on that raid retreat with us?
Oh, that was my. I was working on a book. I'm still working on it with James Robinson.
That was like the sci-fi one, kind of, right? With
Yeah.
the
Very
cyborgs.
military heavy too. I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of. Again, the whole thing, like even with all the tech and everything, is still very much based on myth.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
it seems to be like a
interesting.
theme for me, where I just keep going back to these gods and shit.
Hey, it makes for fun things to pull out of. Like I'm a huge mythology / religion buff, and there's so much great imagery and storylines because they're so classical, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? To pull out of that,
it's like
it's
the
almost
ultimate,
the
ultimate story.
yeah. So no, I'm actually doing a bit of the same. I'm using that as a bit of source material for some of my ideas.
Oh, nice.
It's just rife. Like you can't help but kind of play with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing of like, Lucas did with Star Wars. At the end of the day, he's like, creating these tropes, these classic characters, and then just making them more his own. At the end of the day.
Repackaging, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I mean,
tell this another way.
I know I know people are like, when you say they're like, some people say they're like, what, 7 different stories or whatever it might be.
Right, yeah.
So, and people are like, no, everything's original. Like, actually, you know what? It's probably all kind of the same. You're just kind of fucking around with it, which is great. That's what makes it interesting when you fuck around with it and make it your own. But really, at the end of the day, there's only like so many kinds of stories you can tell that are like the arcs of characters and whatever.
Yeah, I think it's like what you bring to it.
Exactly.
Is different, right? That makes it interesting.
I agree with you 100%.
Some weird feedback there, Cary.
Oh,
Oh,
ooh, there you go. It's all quiet now. So when did you tell us the inception of Lethal? How did Andy corral you guys against a wall in the back alley in Montreal, or like did you guys just start talking one day and going, you know what, tired of the day to day, and you want to like just band together and create?
God! So Andy did his first Kickstarter. So Lethal's sort of been batting around for maybe 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy did come up with like the name and sort of just was talking about this.
Was this the same origin? Not the same origin, sorry. Because I remember at one point, I think Andy was calling it the Regulators, like based on Young Guns.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure, but okay. Anyways, go on.
Probably. I mean, it doesn't sound too far off either. But yeah, like 3 or 4 years ago, and I think I don't know how we were kind of always talking about it, just passing and nothing really serious.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did his Kickstarter, and we were all blown away. Well, I was blown away. He's just like, you can make that much money off of one comic? You kidding me? Like, what am I doing over here? Going broke drawing comics. So I was like, I'm in. I want to do this. and then we started talking about how, we could benefit from shared resources and all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Just all the expertise and figuring out how to do it and cross promotion. So that was sort of the genesis of Lethal.
No, that makes perfect sense. I mean, the power in numbers, as I like to kind of quote.
Yeah.
Get everybody together and share the strength of whatever brings to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did your story? Like you said, you had it for a while. Is it just something you kind of like dusted off and were like, okay, I'm gonna do this, or did you kind of toy around with a few different ideas, or?
This was one. So I mean, I'd never really done. So we'll say like the image book I was telling you about.
Yeah.
James Robinson, KIA, it's called. That was my concept, and I came up with it when I was at Raid.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Talking to you guys about it, I just had no idea how to write or I didn't have characters. I just had this world. And so then I passed it off to James, who he pulled all these like characters out of it and like made a story. I was like, oh, that was really interesting just to watch.
Yeah, how it develops.
Him do that. Like it's like, oh, okay, so you just can make up whatever you want. Like, oh, that's how it works. I get it.
That's all writing, yes.
So then this was this Fol'Klor thing was based off of a character that I came up with as opposed to a world, and I built the world around it, which turned out to be much easier.
Who was the character? Was it the female or?
Yeah, it's the main character, the soul. That was
that was
just
the
much
impetus,
different. Yeah, it's a much different process. This was more character-driven than world-driven, which I think is kind of neat. And it's all just like a huge learning process, which has been really, really fun. It's like I'm invested again. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just.
You're not just a hired gun, basically.
Yeah. No, and it sucks. It sucks all the time because I'm new at everything. I'm just gonna screw it up constantly, and then have to deal with that and go back out there and do it again the next day.
But isn't that part of the fun, though? It's like.
Well, that's where you get growth from, for sure. Like
exactly. Like you're taking a chance on the story. You're looking at. I mean, we did the webcomic stuff back in 2007. I bet you Eric probably cringes. I know I cringe a little bit of some of my content from back then. But you also see the kernels, like the strength, right? You see the ideas and how to make them better or manipulate them. But like you said, you're growing from them. You're trying something, and that's all. That's what any writer or creator actually ever does. It's like some just take a more ballsy chance and just put it out there. Like the guy who did was it Jeff Smith who did Bone, right? Like he did that under his own brand for God knows what 10 years or more, 15. And then it got super popular. People sometimes he would do it monthly, other times not so much. He'd disappear for a while. But then at the end of the day, the story got done, and like it became this amazing, long-running, that everybody loves, and has like a whole like glorious fan base.
Don't you wish? Well, you were doing your own stuff back then.
Yeah.
It's interesting, hey, like, because I never did any indie work at all ever. I only ever did, I got into Marvel right away when I was like 19 or something. And I always kind of feel like I missed out on that part of the creativity. Like I was just strictly a penciler for almost 20 years of my career. And then I finally moved to Toronto and started like learning how to ink really badly and all that kind of stuff, So I wish that I'd done that all along. And I wish I had a property back in the 90s that, I developed and got out there. Because, you see these properties coming back now and they're blowing up huge again.
Yeah, I mean, I know we did it a little bit, but I'll be honest with you, I have big regret for, letting mine fall by the wayside because like I got caught up with the month-to-month work, and obviously, I mean, back then also like there was no Kickstarter, there was no Indiegogo.
Yeah, you really had to do it yourself.
You really had to do it yourself, and the only way to really make money back then was to sell merch or collections or whatever it might be, right? And that just wasn't a viable thing to like, you want to buy a house or you want to like, you know, even just day-to-day living, you know, living. I mean, you moved here to Toronto for a while. It's an expensive city, and it's a hustle to make sure you make your overhead every month, right? And
Sure,
a
yeah.
lot of artists have that hard time, and I, part of me is like always like, fuck, if I just stuck to it, like even like Carl, just like do 1 page a week, it would have been great. But life gets busy, and unfortunately the things that don't pay you money are the things that kind of tend to fall by the wayside sometimes. And all the responsibility takes over as you're hustling deadlines and conventions and all that other stuff, right?
Yeah, I pretty much had to go broke doing this, like just trying to, you know what I mean? Like it's like I made a decision. It's like, okay, no more projects. I can't.
Yeah, well, that's what you gotta do.
anymore.
You gotta make that call, right?
Yeah, even like doing covers is getting distracting. Where it's like, I just spent more and more time on a cover as opposed to working on this.
Yeah.
So eventually, it just got to the point where it's like, this is it. I'm just going until this is.
Yeah, you gotta just dive in whole hog, right?
That's. I think you have to. You have to do it, man. Like, you gotta get it. You gotta wean yourself off the. I don't know what the proper term is, but you gotta
wean yourself off the corporate teat, if you will.
If you will, so you can get to the things you want to be doing and should be doing, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's tough though because it's scary. We all had a pretty good idea that you were going to be successful with the Kickstarters, and I'm sure you had a pretty good sense for it too, Cary.
I didn't think it would go like this. This is nuts.
Well, I
was hoping that it would be funded and like, make a little bit of extra money to live off of for a bit. But this has been great.
Yeah, you're not even halfway through yet either.
Yeah, you're 2 weeks in now, I guess.
I think,
a week in.
Yeah, this is probably 3 weeks. This is week 3 right now.
Oh,
Monday,
really?
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
beginning of week 3. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Oh, we got some time to go. Have you been? It's interesting to see how differently all of you are tackling the stretch goals and different things. Can people look forward to something on the next stretch? Like, what's the?
I think we have some cover upgrades coming up, and then.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. There might be a pin, or there might be.
Some stickers or something.
I'd love to do trading cards.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
There's so many things that I've always thought were cool that I always wanted to do, but
yeah, I mean, you have to source it out and make sure you can cover it without going broke.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Kickstarters. I know a lot of people who do a Kickstarter and they're like, "Yeah, win," and then suddenly once they fulfill, they're like, they get fucked on the shipping. Or
yeah, you got to be careful. Sam was reminding me of that. He's like,
Yeah.
Don't blow your wad here.
You did a Gambit and Bishop issue?
Oh,
comment here in the.
God, that's a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did like 3 or 4 issues of that.
Another question there for you as well.
I mean, this is another thing that I would start thinking of prior to going on campaign, but no, I haven't really thought of stretch goals until like people are like, "You need some stretch goals." I'm like, "Damn it, okay."
It is hard to think of stuff like because you're like you don't want to be like have a bunch of garbage out. Like you don't want like all these like silly stupid things that are like I'm gonna put like bar coasters with Fol'Klor on it or something like.
But I think that's cool. I would totally do that.
It's actually the next tier, so careful.
Son of a bitch! I fucked it up. I mean, I always try to do stuff that kind of relates. I was gonna say like I could see a bar coaster relating to like Arden because like characters are in a tavern, different, you know what I mean, or a pub. Whereas like maybe it's like something like what do you call it like Fol'Klor would be like a talisman or like a keychain maybe with like the sun symbol or I don't know what I'm not too knowledgeable of the story obviously, but something that is more in tune with
you want it to kind of relate to the story, right?
Yeah, like if Andy made like a Stretch Armstrong character of his character.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It would be right up to his alley.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to do was, and I don't know if it's related to it or not, but having postcards, but from the actual locations. You know what I mean?
That's
So
interesting.
if there is like a tavern in your stores,
Oh,
like
neat. Yeah.
here, hello from like whatever tavern.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
I like that suggestion. An artist edition, all pencils. I love pencil work.
Yeah, I don't do pencils. Like if you look at my thing right now, these are my pencils. I just sort of like start making a mess.
Yeah.
You kind of start blocking in shapes, and you're going around color and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't do like traditional pencils anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think it's when you go digital, like you no longer have to follow that methodology, right? Because you can just do layers, you can switch things up.
Yeah, well, I find my art's a lot stronger once I start I put the gray in as soon as possible because then I can see the whole form a lot clearer, which is something you can't do when you are penciling.
No, for sure,
you know what I mean? So like I don't even know how to do contour lines anymore, just or contour drawings, I should say.
That's interesting watching how you watch Ramon draw. It's very fascinating.
Yeah, everybody has their own method, right?
How do you do it, Eric? Do you just
I change it every time.
Right.
No, I do a lot of like roughs and doodles, and then I just do a tighter line, and then I layer another tighter line. I love line art. That's kind of my jam. I'm trying to block in. You start shadowing and dropping more blacks and stuff like that. So I'm trying to practice that with this comic. But it's work in progress. I think I got a ways to go. That's for sure. So, but it's good.
I'm not gonna like the blue line thing too. Hey, like do you have a background in animation, like traditional?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I went to Sheridan College 20 plus years ago.
You lie.
But and I really enjoyed it, but it is very it's a lot of work.
Oh god, I can't even imagine.
So much
animation
work.
For sure, yeah.
And it's satisfying when you see the final product, of course. But I was just like, I don't want to do this forever. And then got the comics, and I was like, awesome! Holy shit, that's a lot of work too.
Right?
So you're kind of against a lot of work part, basically.
Yeah. You're starting to get it now. So. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But then concept art, man, that's the way to do it. That's good money.
I mean, it's very different.
A lot
and
more.
you get to I assume you get to focus on something a lot more. Like in comics, a lot of the stuff, even when you get to design something, it's like I don't have time to design something properly. I'm just like winging it always.
On the page, basically.
Yeah.
And
I imagine you get to sit down with an idea for a while, mull it over, try different things, and
totally.
That's the satisfying part for me. When I get to design anything, it's I get to play around with it and sit on it for a week and think about it, change it. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's super fun, and there's no monthly pressure. There's pressure to deliver nice work and be creative, but there's a lot more time allowed to explore things, and you can really encourage. At least at this company here, they encourage you to try other disciplines in the studio. Oh, you want to learn how to be a character artist or a layout artist? It's
wow.
They encourage people to try and learn other things to expand your toolbox, if you will.
Sure, yeah.
And they happily will pay for things. They've actually got they put a chunk aside to what's the term they use for that? I can't remember, but it's one of the kind of the perks of working here is that there you go, digital streams is that they'll help people get further their career or further their abilities and stuff, because it all helps them in the end too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like paying for a night class or something. You're gonna bring that skill set now to the job, right?
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, it's a great job. And I'm not gassed out at the end of the day, so I'm able to like work on other projects and stuff, which they encourage too.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's the hard part. Yeah.
Because like you finish the day, and if you've been drawing all day, for me when I do have like those really intense drawing days at work, I don't have any energy in the evening to do any more. So that sucks. But I'm trying to practice and get through that. And this, doing this weekly comic and then doing more of the Kickstarter stuff. It's like I'm trying to push my limits and my abilities and stuff. So
well, that's important, man.
Yeah, I need to
get you out of the comfort zone.
Yep. Exactly. So
Cary, and do you feel better when you like are learning too? Like you're more engaged in life, or at least that's how I feel. Like
yeah,
even though I don't know, like for you, but for me, like getting those periods where you just suck at things is horrible in the moment. But the growth comes really quick because you expect a certain level from yourself. So you just got to get through all the bullshit really fast.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, it's tough. Fuck. Being an artist is hard.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot.
I think, people.
It depends on what you want to do, though. I think too, right? Like,
yeah. No, but I think it is like. I mean, not to be facetious and everything, but it's like people forget like when you do something day in and day out. Sometimes you're getting burnout. You're getting.
Yep.
It's not like a job. Like, because you're not only drawing, but you're like constantly thinking about everything that you're working on. Layout, story. It's like, it's funny how layouts just how draining they can be. And that's not even like a finished drawing. That's just like laying out a story, scribbling out some paste, and stuff like that. But that's, all that stuff just adds up. And then at the end of the day,
yeah, layouts are sort of like a mental. You're more engaged mentally. Just drawing, you can sort of autopilot a little bit.
Yeah, there's like I always called it like the Zen of Inking. Like on inking, I could just go into autopilot and kind of just enjoy. It's like my little like yoga session or something.
Sure, yeah.
But like penciling and layouts are like in order of draining. It would be layouts. Actually, for me, it's more like pencils are a little bit more draining than layouts. I think because I want to make sure all the mistakes are out. But
layouts are very. You're wearing so many hats doing that, like director, editor, storyteller,
cinematographer,
all that stuff, and that's exciting, but it's draining. Like you need uber focus, and and then you start getting down to it, and then you might have to make changes on the fly, right? Hey Ryan, what's up, buddy?
Ryan, what?
Buddy, check out Ryan. Go.
So, are you? Can we bother you, Cary, to tell us a little bit about the story? Like, or are you kind of?
Yeah.
What is the word?
Oh, I mean, like certain aspects of it are I don't know.
Get these people salivating about this cool.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, this is my first like. I guess it's not my first story that I've got parts where I shouldn't reveal, and also my first story. So I'm like, what do I even tell? I've never done this before. I gotta think about my.
Okay, let me ask you this then. What are the favorite parts outside of creating your own thing, which is always awesome? What are your favorite parts about what you're doing with this story in a visual sense? Because I've seen some really killer pages coming out from you, and they seem like like I know as artists we have like habits to fall back on. We like fallback panel layouts, fallback poses, and that kind of thing. Like, are you? What about this is like kind of allowing you to play, basically, I guess.
The first thing going in is like, it's like I know, I'm a first-time writer, so I'm not terribly confident in my writing, but at least I can do good art to make up for it.
Yeah.
And so I'm really trying to make it like let the visuals speak as much as possible. So I'm putting the extra effort into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So if I can get like
that's
just the most just to compensate for maybe what might be a lack of solid writing, just until I figure out the process. If that makes any sense.
I mean, no, it does. Like the pages I've seen you posting are just like epic layouts. They're like it's like the Ring of the Nibelung kind of like this operatic experience. You know,
Yeah.
the way you're laying out these things, which is
Thank you. Yeah.
amazing. No, it's like you know, I don't want to sound like we're like you know, just talking you up on the show, but like really, like what I've seen, like you, Andy, and Carl all doing is just being inspiring. With you can see the love going in is basically.
Well, I think that's the difference too. Is there's an actual love for not that I.
It's a different kind of love. No. You don't want to diminish what you've worked on because you've worked on a lot of great things.
I think it's just repetitive. That's what drove me nuts about the. It's like, how many times do you draw on the same pose, different characters, whatever.
But
it's
same
like
pose.
the same pose. Like even with Conan, it's like I can't come up with a new way for him to swing a sword at this point. You know what I mean? It's like I only got this. This is it. This is all I got.
Yeah.
So there's no energy of trying to figure something out anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's worse is the degradation that comes with it. So people ask me, "You ever do Conan again?" It's like, no, man. Like I got nothing left to say.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, like I remember, like when I first started, I worked in fantasy and gaming stuff, and I loved it. But like after 8 years, like it's just like you said,
that's a long time.
You can't. I mean, I was working in other jobs, but like at the end of it, you're like, oh, I'm going to reuse that pose I've done a million times, and your art suffers for it because you're just falling back on the norm, right? The regular stuff, right? No, so I could totally get it. Like,
yeah, I think one of the things that got going for me too is like it's the first time I've ever colored a book.
Oh shit, yeah.
Which I wasn't planning on.
No, I just sort of your color theory is like spot on though.
If you say so, yeah. I mean, like, was not planned.
Yeah.
I just kind of ran out of time. I was like, shit, I haven't tried to find a colorist yet. And like, I don't know who to get. Screw it. I'm just going to do the test pages. And I loved it. And so I'm getting that energy too. So whenever I color, I get like the uncertainty of not knowing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just really invested. I'm invested in every aspect of this whole thing, which I think brings something something to it. You know what I mean? Like you can see it on the page. Which I think what people loved about my Conan stuff was like it was all an experiment. We didn't know, what it was going to look like. We were just going straight from pencils, and my editor was like super nervous about it.
But the thing is, when you were on it, that was like at the beginning, you were like probably super jazzed. You were going.
Oh, I was, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until probably later on where you were like, okay, I've done this for a while now, and now I'm kind of like burnt out on Conan and swords.
Oh, dude, yeah. I wish that I could have just kept with that style because, it was sort of what everyone loved it, right? So they were like, just do that, but now on, X-Men, I'm like, I can't. I don't care anymore. It's boring. I got to try something different, and then,
Yeah. No.
It would have been better off if I just stuck with that style, but here I am.
That's why I always look at artists like, and I'm always curious because you have certain artists like Jim Lee always pops to mind. Like I love Jim Lee's work, but nothing about his work to me has changed in the past 30 years that I've been following his work.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember a couple times he did a couple watercolor pieces. Like I remember in 100 Bullets number 50, he did like this beautiful watercolor piece. I actually remember seeing the piece and I was like, who is this guy? And I like flipped back to the contents page. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Jim Lee. Fuck,
No way.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Blew me away, but he never did it because everybody wanted him to do like his traditional Jim Lee style. Like, when he tried to like, I remember for a while he was doing that death blow where he was like ripping off kind of was it a Miller kind of style?
Right. Yeah.
But at least he was trying something different. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a guy who probably could have grown more as an artist because he has the capabilities, but the industry or the fan base.
You know what also sucked with him too? I heard someone else say this. I can't remember who, but so many people were aping him that it diluted his style and almost made it, lessen the worth of it because everyone was doing it. So when you see Jim Lee do it, it's like, I see that everywhere. Yeah,
because he kind of created the house style for DC almost, right?
He created the house style for comics for like 20 years.
No, it's true, yeah. So
totally.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense as well. And you figure that guy with the amount of money he has, he would just go play and do something fucking out of the ordinary, just surprise fans. Whether it fails or succeeds, which I have no doubt it would probably succeed, but just
That's an interesting thing to talk about too, though. Is one thing that I came into conflict was sucking at things publicly. Not that I ever
yeah.
didn't suck or something, but like, you have a certain level with, like, say, penciling or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go into inking and you just suck at it and you just have to live with it. It's really tough
Yeah.
to go from a place that's like, where you're like kind of respected or whatever, and then people see you and like, what are you doing?
Well, that's the problem with our industry. Like, we grow in the public eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's no different than an actor who does a really bad movie in the beginning of their career, and then years later people are bringing up this, like, it's like Stallone when you played the pizza guy in like that pornographic movie. It's like, but at the end of the day, everybody has a past, right? And you just learn and you figure that shit out as you go along.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, to go, like, so you got Rocky, and then you got, what's that one he did with, like the mother? Did I shoot my mother or something? From the train?
Yeah. Throw mama from the train, I think.
You know what I mean? It's like you got Oscar award-winning thing, and then that. And it's like.
But did you ever hear the story about that movie?
I did, yeah.
Where he got tricked to doing it by Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was. I think he did that one out of spite, basically. But
you won't beat me.
But then he did like stuff like Copland, which was like totally out of his wheelhouse and amazing, right?
Like that.
So I think it's I mean, you gotta take the chances or you'll just be kind of in that rut,
For sure, yeah.
Try something different, basically, at the end of the day. Who knows? We're just talking about it.
Oh, Sam asked earlier if there was a protagonist. Who is your protagonist, Cary, and the character journey she is undertaking?
Wow. Loaded question.
Jeez. Yeah, he's prepping me for
interviews.
Yeah. We got one coming up on Friday, and like, you need notes for this one because they're gonna ask you some serious questions. The protagonist. So that's the main character that you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
The girl with blonde hair.
The woman, yeah. And you said her name is Soul?
Soul, yeah. And what's her character journey?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, and no, I should be able to answer this stuff.
I should be able to.
That's what I do now, I guess.
You're a writer now. You got to answer these questions. That's what you got to do.
Love it.
I guess I'm still looking for the answers in a lot of ways. So, like, what I know so far, she's like, this is the interesting thing about having, committing to doing a series, right?
Mm-hmm.
I originally thought this would be like 4 issues and done, but it turns out it might go, a little longer.
It's an epic now.
Yeah, and one of the things is like, what took so long to get off the ground in the first place is like I didn't have the whole story mapped out, but I had a lot of I know how it ends.
Yep.
And I know the beginning, but then there's that whole middle ground I didn't know.
That's how it usually happens, though.
Sure, yeah, and I thought I had to get more of it figured out right away before I did all this crazy stuff. But turns out no, you can just do it. So I'm on that page where I'm just like figuring it out as I go. So this first issue is just going to be about kind of introducing this character, and she's just going to she's figuring herself out. Like she's like coming into these powers that are starting to like appear, almost like the classic mutant story. And hi. Thank you.
Oh, that's creepy.
You brought reinforcement.
Oh, well played.
Let me finish this, and I'll tell you all about this story. Yeah, I'm sure. So yeah, she's just learning about herself. She's figuring out her powers.
Yeah, I got one going. What? I mean, you mentioned earlier that you're inspired by myth and mythology. Is there a particular myth or that inspired this story?
Well, it turns out I also hate research. So.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, I just say it's inspired by mythology. Turns out you can just make it up. It's like, great.
It's like what do you call it? It's like the Coen brothers when they did what's that movie? Oh fuck! Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? and it's based on the Odyssey.
Is it?
But they never actually read the Odyssey. They just kind of heard things about it, so they're like, oh yeah, there's like a giant, and there's like some stuff happens, and some witches, and they fully admit it. Like they're like, yeah, we kind of
That's
remembered it from
hilarious.
like high school class that we had to read this book, but so like I mean, you're in great companies at the end of the day. Is what I'm saying. You're with the Coen brothers on this, man. You don't have to worry about it at all.
No, it's like loosely based on some like Slavic mythology and stuff, like, but nothing like there's no like god or something that it directly borrowed from.
Okay.
Just sort of like classic story of like night versus day, and that classic struggle between good and evil and light and darkness and all that. So can't really go wrong there.
No, for sure, it's epic.
It all works.
And you got some beautiful visuals, It's I'm guessing the guy with all the stars and in his cape is like Knight and the evil kind of character. Actually, I think you sent some stuff over to Rob, some character sketches. I don't know if Rob can post them or not, but
sure, yeah.
And are you? Is it just going to be these two, or do you have other kind of supporting characters that you're going to kind of sneak in?
Yeah, I've got a whole cast ready to go in the next issue, and there'll be a few coming up that we're going to meet this time. But we're going to go through like the origin story of just, I guess, the mythology that I'll be creating for this world in this first issue. So you'll see like the origin of everything, of life as we know it, and then that's King Knock right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And his 4-horse chariot.
I love the way you're putting like the evil shit in the darkness behind him, like the glowing like demon wolves or whatever those are. Like some great graphic playing here, man. So cool.
Thank you.
And are you doing this on Clip or Procreate?
All on Clip, man.
Oh shit, nice.
Yeah, the only digital art program I know how to use.
See, Eric, see what you can do with it?
What? I stopped listening. I'm trying to figure out Clip Studio.
Yeah.
We're always trying to tell Eric, you can do so much more. He's like, nope, don't got the time.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's amazing what people do. When you look at some like of these concept designers, I don't know if they're doing Clip Studio, but they can do amazing work. I'm like, how do you do that?
That's cool. Like, did you use like that building in the background? Is that perspective tool, or did you just photo ref that?
What I did was I built that.
That structure?
I'm sure I did this horribly backwards, and there's a much more efficient way to do it. But I sort of just built it in a 2D image, and then I built it in parts, so you could like almost expand it.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I can kind of see how you've expanded it there. Yeah.
So in a weird way, I don't know.
Hey, it works. Whatever. The method to your madness, basically, at the end of the day.
That's what I love about this Clip Studio thing. Is like anything, you just get a problem, and you're like, how do I figure this out?
Yeah. No.
I'm starting to get my bag of tricks going, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, you got your tricks.
Totally. Yeah, I'm really liking the Clip for sure. It's starting to figure out faster ways. It's still a long way away from where I want to be, but it's getting there.
Did you have another? What were you using all this time?
Harry, I was building my frames in Photoshop with the line tool. I don't think you can be any more amateur at creating a comic than the way I was doing it. So,
but we love you. We love you, Eric.
That's why we get along, because we're both just no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
We love you, Eric.
I know.
We mock out of love, basically.
I used the Clip Studio for the anthologies, at least in that time, because but I would flip back and forth to Photoshop because I'd only understood so little of it. But it got done.
Well, the thing about Clip is it's like a great program, but if you're coming from Photoshop, it's a little bit awkward because it's similar enough where you're like, oh, this should do this, and you're like, no, it works a little bit differently.
Yeah.
In Clip,
it's like Windows and Apple. It's like
exactly.
Two different operating systems.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. So like once you figure that those small differences out, then you're then you're set basically.
Yeah, it's a super cool program, and I have an iPad Pro now, and it is so awesome to use it on there.
Really? Do you find it too small?
No,
Or do you have a larger screen that you can like?
I got the big one, but I don't know. Well, so I'm doing it right now on my Cintiq here, which is the big one. But like when I'm doing most of the comic cleaning up, even I set it all up on the iPad, work until I got a stream, and then I switch it over to the Cintiq here.
Oh, sick.
Like I'll finish all the lettering and stuff on the Cintiq just because I can. It's easier with the keyboard, obviously, and the hotkeys and such sort. But
Are you doing everything on the iPad, Cary?
Everything, yeah. It's the only thing I have that was made in the last decade. So. I'm still rocking that old Mac from like 2011, and I have.
Would you like? I mean, I love the iPad, so I'm not knocking it at all. But I also know that I love to work on a Cintiq just because the canvas is bigger. Would it be something that you'd be like wanting to, or is like the screen and the size of the iPad more than enough, and you're like, I'm good?
I love the portability of the iPad. Like you can throw it in your bag and just go to a cafe. Like you know, for me that's dynamite. But yeah, I've had to learn how to zoom in on the iPad because I tend to like want to zoom out to see everything. Like I like working here, and then you zoom in, it's like, oh, it's a giant mess. You know what I mean? So I'm learning to like go in really big to do my lines and stuff.
I find it really hard, and I still struggle with this actually working digitally. Like I find when you work on something traditionally, because you're seeing it all at once, all the weights and balances are there. But with the iPad or even the Cintiq, where I think you have to constantly zoom in and out. Otherwise, I find you kind of like you go too fine with some details that are not important, or you just fuck yourself with like your black spotting because you're not paying attention, or whatever it might be. Like that's the one thing I kind of still, even after doing this for so long, I still have a hard time.
Yeah, that's the trick, I think.
Making sure that I'm actually on point with the stuff I want to be
maybe when I get to about 75%, I always like take a picture and then look it on my iPhone.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Just so I can see what it looks like.
Yep.
On a different screen with like different colors and all that. And B at that size, if it reads well on an iPhone, and a lot of times it doesn't. I'm like, oh, okay, I got to change some things up.
Yeah. Cary is not part of Raid Studio. He's part of the Lethal Comics crew. But he was part of Raid. We had him for a brief stint back in 2014, 2015, basically. And then he was like, I'm out of here, guys.
I'm going to Calgary.
The Lethal Comics, the slow walk in the I love these badass photos. This photo shoot was awesome.
You do like a Raid versus Lethal comic.
It's like the Habs versus the Leafs is what it's going to become, basically.
I was thinking Jets, like West Side Story.
Yeah. Are we going to have a dance-off at the con where we pull out our switchblades, kind of just dance across the floor?
Hey, I like dancing, so...
Yeah. I figure we should just team up. We should just be helping. We just lift each other up, basically.
I gotta say, doing this Kickstarter stuff, that's one thing that I'm really liking is the community support.
Yeah.
Which is something that's interesting that's been missing from mainstream comics. Not that people haven't been awesome and supportive, but I find that people are way more invested in the Kickstarter platform. You know what I mean? Because you can cross them out, and it's like everyone's trying to help each other out.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's just been nice because I haven't really felt that so much from the mainstream community.
I feel like
because I think people are just like removed from it, right? They're just like not as invested. They get them paychecks from Marvel or whatever.
Yeah.
So like no one's really, I never cared. I just like, oh yeah, whatever.
You're like,
you're doing your thing. That's cool. Well, I just wasn't. I don't know. Just didn't. I had my own thing going on.
It's a whole different world. Like as much as I think there's more of a crossover now than there ever has been, but there's still kind of like a big divide between the indie scene and the mainstream scene, right? And I think you're seeing more and more of it cross over, but I think it's still kind of like people are busy, they're meeting deadlines, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, everybody just wants to see everybody succeed. So
Well, they also
absolutely.
want that content too, right? Like everyone likes the big hero books and stuff, sure, but like they're fans of that artist, of those books, because sometimes they're fans of that artist, and when that artist goes off and makes their own thing, they're like, oh my god, I mean, their own thing. What would they do with that? Because obviously there's rules and limitations with established characters, right?
Yeah, but do you remember like the Image era when after like the first few guys went into Image and created all their ripoffs of Marvel comics? But then you had all these other artists just coming up with these really other just sad ripoffs of other Marvel comics and
they're doing the ripoffs of the ripoffs.
The ripoffs of the ripoffs is you're like, what is this bizarro idea? Like, you know, but there's I think a lot more original, interesting stuff out there because you just have the ability to do it a little bit more so these days than you ever could.
Well, it's really interesting to see. I think with Kickstarter, even for like smaller, creators and stuff, like that you actually make some money. Like I know if you're sort of an unknown or like smaller guy, like you're probably making $50 to $100 a page at a publisher, and if you can walk away with like $10,000 in your pocket for a comic book, that's a hell of a lot better than working for most publishers at that level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think the other thing too is like things that people don't hear about is like when like when Disney bought out, for example, Marvel, they changed the royalty scheme, right? So suddenly artists had like a nice little royalty for say a book that sold 30,000, but now you won't get that little check because the book now has to sell 60,000 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And all that stuff kind of happens, and it's funny. The one thing that COVID, in a weird way, taught me was how little I could live off of.
Right. Yeah.
Because not that I wasn't like I had work, but I mean it kind of because nothing was going on and you couldn't really do anything. It really went to show you how much money you're spending on, say, going out or doing things.
Yeah, man.
Or whatever, right?
That's interesting you say that because I got out of the habit of going out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I used to like work in pubs and coffee shops all the time. It's like now I'm like I'll just stay home and save like $20 or whatever.
20 or like $80.
Sure, yeah, whatever.
Right? It's like it's crazy. I remember like Steph, my girlfriend, and I, we went out for like after the first things opened up, we went out for a drink for a pint and a mediocre set of wings and like fries at some like pub, and it wasn't the greatest, and we were like, this is like $100. Like,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like what? Like come on. Like,
yeah.
I know we're paying for location, but come on.
Yeah, my girlfriend got like well, she's a great cook, but I got really used to home cooking for the first time in my life. And she's just like knocking these dishes out of the park, and trying new stuff because she had all this time off.
Yeah.
So it was making these fantastic meals. Like I don't even want to go out because it's not going to be as good as I'm getting at home.
No, exactly, right?
So like, why bother? I just got out of the habit of going out.
Yeah.
I'm cooking more at home too. Like, and yeah, going out. Yeah, it's lost some of that. I have a lot of people over for fires and like go to people's houses for drinks there if I campfire. So that's kind of way more appealing that way, having cigars and stuff. But
for sure.
I don't know.
Rob's agreeing to the home cooking, our resident raid chef.
Yeah. I also trying to be more healthier. It is healthier.
Oh yeah, man.
For sure.
Cheaper, it's healthier. It's like shit. I should probably not go out as much anymore. It's crazy.
Well, it's true. It's funny. It's been a nice little change in the world because of it. Hope it sticks.
Yeah, before we get back into those old habits.
Yeah. Or maybe we're just old and we just like staying home now. That could be the other thing.
I didn't want to say it out loud, but I was thinking it. That might be what's going on.
Because I walk home and I still see the bars packed with like kids fucking drinking it up and having a great night. So like it just could be like we're old a little bit, just a little bit.
Well, we did all that lots, right? And it's like,
Oh, fuck yeah. And we still do it every so often.
yeah. Well, that's
We did it without masks.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
We're pre-maskers.
I remember back when I was younger, I could drink without a mask. It was a good time. I didn't have a vax passport or nothing.
Is that happening still, or is that actually going through?
That's what they're talking about, Ontario. I think the 21st or 22nd of this month.
Yeah,
If you want to go to a gym, restaurant, I mean,
Of this month? Oh, in Ontario.
yeah.
Quebec's already got it.
I think it's a bit bullshit, personally. Like,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
anti-vax or anything like that. Like, I've got both my shots and stuff, but I think it's going to lead to bad segregation. It's going to lead to,
that's what I worry about, that side of it, right?
like, if people are like, and I know their anxiety levels are in different realms for everybody, but like, if I hang out with a person who has no vaccine, I give two shits. But I know some people won't hang out with you unless you're vaccinated. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a political divide.
What I don't like is beyond that is, all right, so you're telling me you're going to give the government, this kind of tracking abilities, or to figure out, it's got your date of birth, it's got your health status and all that.
They already have all that.
No, but it's decentralized. Like it's becoming, and it's an app that you have. Anyway, once you give the government anything, they're never giving it back.
Oh God!
You know what I mean?
It's
so
it's like that temporary tax that came in after World War II.
Not that I want to get political, but you heard about exactly the World War II thing. But even in Australia, they're doing like they have a lockdown going on right now. Have you heard about this?
No.
Where you have to like check in every 15 or whenever the government like.
What?
You have to do a snapshot of your face and send it to them to prove that you're where you're supposed to be.
That's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
That's a little weird.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like,
I don't like this kind of shit,
No,
so passports they don't seem all that necessary.
No, I mean, I could see it for like if you're going out of country, okay, because you're traveling somewhere, you might pick something up or you might bring something with you, right? From a health standpoint, like especially if you're traveling to an area that might be a heavily infected zone or whatever it might be, right? But locally, like when Toronto, I think is like 80% almost vaccinated. Like I don't give a shit if you have. I don't care. Like just fucking serve. Like come out, have a good time, and like whatever. It's. I think it's. Yeah. I fear that it's going to impose on liberties, but also create.
Well, it's another thing they can enforce and kind of free like without.
Like I remember, like a vaccine. Like I remember when I was a kid, I had to carry around my vaccine card when I was a kid.
You did?
It was like a yellow. Oh yeah, it was like a little yellow card, and it had all my vaccines. Like
I remember around.
What are you talking about? Carry it around like?
It was like a piece of paper the size of like a
Where did you carry it?
Like in my pocket or
and you had to present it?
Yeah.
To who? Okay, this is like Ontario versus Alberta, obviously.
Halloween plans. Oh man, I don't know. I haven't done a Halloween thing in a while. I kind of fell out of the Halloween loop. I know we were talking about we're doing a Dracula show at Raid, so we were thinking about having an event here during like a gallery event. So that would be probably like mid-October to late October. We haven't set a date yet, but actually going out for Halloween, I doubt I'll be doing that. I have enough candy in my fridge already. But yeah, this is the Dracula Visions. So this is the Kickstarter, but we'll be doing an actual art show showcasing a lot of the great artists that have done work for this book, including like Eric's doing something, a bunch of the Raid guys, Hoche Anderson has done some stuff, Casey Parsons. I'm not sure who the art piece is there in the central image there.
Oh, Katie just sent something over.
Yeah, Katie, Sawatsky, Adam Gorham. Like a lot of great artists are in this book. So we'll be showcasing the originals at the art gallery, which will be fantastic. Having a bit of a party, but I don't think Halloween-wise though. In the past, I've always been at a con, so I never actually did anything. which was a great excuse for not having to worry about a Halloween costume. I'd always be like in Europe. I would, I'd be like, I'm going to Europe. See you. Fuck you, Halloween. It's like, too much work.
Yeah.
Plus, we get cosplay so much that
Oh yeah.
the novelty of Halloween sort of worn off just from going to conventions and all that. For me, anyway.
And the standards go so high, right? You're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is so much work.
My stupid ghost pillowcase thing doesn't hold any water anymore.
Though Andy used to throw a killer Halloween party in Toronto back in the day. He'd make a whole haunted house out of his house on College Street there, and all the artists and people would show up. And has he done any big Halloween parties in Montreal?
Not that I know of.
No.
You weren't invited.
Yeah.
Don't invite Cary. Whatever we do.
Don't invite Cary. So you're saying Montreal already instigated the
Passports, yeah.
Passports?
Yeah.
And that's for what? Just like for your going to a bar or
Bars, gyms,
Really?
restaurants, even patios for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get the patio thing of all of them. It's like outdoor
you're-
patio. I can't.
Yeah.
You can't go outside without a passport.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't
I
really
can
get
stand
that.
I can stand on this side of the fence, but not that side of the fence.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this shakes down. I'm kind of worried about it.
Yeah, a little bit worried as
Kind of
well.
worried about it. I think I kind of don't mind the passport thing personally, but I'm just worried about what and where it could go wrong, and
I don't.
I feel like there's going to be some issues that are
I
going
think certain places it might be a good idea, like a gym where you're like sweating on everything, like that. I can kind of see it's a very intimate experience. Unless you got some guy following you around with a spray can, you're going to be sweating out COVID, sneezing it, breathing it, whatever. Restaurants, we're already doing fine without a vaccine passport.
Here's
right?
the interesting thing here is, so you and I would have to go show our passports, but the staff doesn't have to show any passport to work there.
Oh,
So,
okay.
we might be fine. We have no idea if they're vaxxed or not.
Oh,
So it
that's
doesn't make a lot of sense, like what's the message here?
And
What are we
actually,
trying to accomplish?
I think the same thing is here too. Actually, I think you're right. But
Huh.
yeah, I don't know. It's a bit screwy.
well. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
It's coming. So.
yeah, something's gonna happen.
So they're bringing it in this month, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So I thought you guys were you not open all summer? Or I thought, what's his name? Ford was really lax.
No, we've been open. We've been open since about it's a good handful of months now. I think just prior to, I think it was just after the May 2-4 long weekend. I think that we opened up. I could be wrong though, but I'd be going out nonstop: movies, patios, restaurants, indoors, outdoors.
Right, yeah.
I've had no issues.
Ramon's the super spreader, basically.
I'm basically a super spreader. That's what's going on.
Okay.
That's right.
Patient zero over there.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm taking the global pandemic with me and just going around. No siree, Bob.
Have you guys haven't had COVID, any of you?
No, my dad
you
has
think
it
he
right
did?
now.
Oh, he does. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right,
but he's doing okay. He's in a little bit rough condition, but which is one of the main reasons I stopped doing that trip. But he's stable, but he's just like I think he's just a bit rougher around the edges because of his Parkinson's.
Oh, yeah.
But I just felt I should be here just in case shit goes down because I'm the only contact for him.
Right, yeah.
But I've never had. I don't think I've had it. And I got tested a lot because to see my dad, I had to actually have because he's in a home. I actually had to have a clean test to go in to visit him. Right.
Right, yeah.
So I don't think I actually ever had it, but who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe I was just spreading it left, right, and center.
Well, we weren't sure. We were in Mexico and just before all this went down last year. And all of us there's like 5 of us that went to Mexico, and all of us got really sick before anyone even heard of COVID.
Oh, okay.
And then we went to my girlfriend and I went to like Europe for a couple
Mm-hmm.
weeks, 3 weeks or 1 week, 10 days, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were both still sick.
Oh,
So like,
really?
were we like super spreading COVID around? Like, we don't know if we had it or not, but
Yeah.
everyone was like sick. And like, it was just starting to break. So they closed like Paris down
Oh,
on our
shit.
last night there. We were
Oh,
trying to see some
really?
attractions and like everything shut down. We didn't speak the language. So we're like, what's going on? No idea. We thought like, oh, it must be like some weird holiday we don't know about.
I like how you didn't speak the language, but your girlfriend's phone's in French.
Well, she's been learning French and I have not. She speaks it now, or she knows it a lot more than I do now.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't we see each other in Chicago right before all this happened? Didn't?
Yeah, I think
you
so.
were there, yeah.
That was my last convention, I think.
Same here, and that was
I missed that one. I would have
March. But I remember there were people who were already wearing rubber gloves and wearing masks.
Oh, really?
At that show. Yeah, I don't know if you remember like Mitch Gerards and Gerards and a few other guys, like they were always wearing rubber gloves and stuff, and then they got really sick afterwards.
Oh, really? Hey?
Yeah. So I mean I don't know if it was COVID or not, but I think the worry was already out there at that point.
Yeah, and I think I just started hearing about it at that point because I don't watch the news.
Like I'm the same. Like I heard about it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like SARS back in whatever. It's gonna blow over.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it didn't.
It did the opposite. Damn it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
Mm-hmm.
Awful stuff. But
no,
anyway.
unpleasant.
Well, let's switch to a topic to something nicer. Like, what kind of movies have you seen, Cary?
Oh man, not much lately. Like that I can remember.
We just saw Shang-Chi here at the studio.
Well, how was that?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah.
I think Sheldon just saw that too this weekend.
It's way more. I thought it was a better story than Black Widow, but it still does that Marvel movie thing where it becomes like a hot CG mess in the third act.
Well, don't ruin it for anybody either.
I'm not going to ruin any story points, but like, I feel like I keep thinking of that old SNL skit, like lowered expectations. I feel like just like everybody just like I feel like shit doesn't have the same gravitas as. I mean, obviously Marvel movies are just popcorn movies. They're not meant to be like fucking eye-opening or brain wrenching stories. So you kind of go in there going, yeah, it's popcorn. I'm going to enjoy the ride. But I felt like with Black Widow, there was a lot of holes in it where I was like, this makes no fucking sense. Whereas Velocipastor.
Oh, man,
did you watch it, Eric?
Some funny ass shit. No, I haven't, but I love that title, man.
Oh, I will say one thing. Psycho Gorman. Have you guys watched that yet?
Oh, good segue into Lethal Comics.
Right? But
I have not actually.
It's I would say that's one of the better films I've seen in a long time, just because it's really fresh.
Yeah.
And just funny as hell. Like they got some great stuff going on in there.
What's I saw the trailer for it after Andy was. This is way back when he was posting all his pinups. Where can we check it out? Like, is it available somewhere? Or?
It's on Shudder. I don't know if you guys have Shudder.
Yeah, Shudder, the horror one.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have that, it's on there.
Okay.
I watched it once when I was like kind of having some drinks. A few too many. So the first half I remember, and the second half it got a little fuzzy. But I watched it again just recently, and it's like, oh man, it was like really funny without alcohol. So.
I feel like, I mean, I saw the trailer and it looks like it's a lot of fun actually.
Yeah.
And then you guys are doing, is it a tribute book? Like, what is it? Like
we are doing an anthology at Lethal.
Yeah, we're not doing
the Lethal Anthology.
So how many pages is this thing going to be?
I think, what does it say? 65 pages of pure space terror.
So just all short stories, basically?
Yeah, we got like one main story, and then a few like 5-6 pagers, and a bunch of 2-3 pagers.
Can you divulge who's in this thing, or is it secret still?
I think we have it listed. Yeah, there's oh man, you're gonna ask my memory.
who's in there.
I heard
Paul
rumors
Pope,
that
Kyle
Paul
Haas,
Pope.
like
Oh,
they got
okay,
something in
Kalman.
Mara. Yeah, we got like some
Okay,
a lot of the actual
nice.
guys that worked on the film are contributing. So
I heard
yeah,
that like
it's got a
Simon
little bit of
Bisley
everything.
might be doing something.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know yet.
You don't know?
We were trying to corral him, but
Corral him, yeah.
yeah,
He's a tough guy to corral.
yeah. Oops, I keep turning this. There we go. This is a really weird way for me to work, by the way. It's like,
Yeah, whatever. We're just chatting and drawing.
yeah, we're just making, yeah.
So is this your lead character, or just like
Yeah.
a girl in general?
No, this is like kind of the lead character.
Oh, okay.
It is the lead character, yeah.
It kind of.
I did.
I know, why am I like playing that angle?
So is her outfit? What's it? Soul.
Solse,
Soul.
but we just call her Soul for short.
Oh, okay. Soul for short. Thanks for cutting that down there. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great shot, dude. That was
Beautiful.
So are you doing a lot of? Is this like? Are you doing like straight up painting, or are you doing like? Are you bringing in photo bashing elements like? And I'm not trying to diminish anything like this. I just like I because digital allows you to do like I do a lot of photo bashing in Stillwater when I work on Stillwater.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you're involving at all, or is it just pure art, like pure drawing?
Oh no, I take stuff. Yeah, like well, I don't know if you can pull up one of those pages, but I've got one with some flowers in it, for instance, and it's like, you know, like I can sit there and try to draw flowers all day, or just like trace it right up in the photo.
I mean, Jack Kirby used to bring
yeah,
in
like
flowers.
that foreground stuff, right
Yeah.
in the bottom panel.
That's like a photo bashed.
That's
Yeah, I just took some I just traced out some flowers.
Yeah.
You know?
Trace it.
No, I'm just like people give it such a bad rap, but like fucking Kirby used to throw photos on his like cover.
Got to get it done, right?
He's
So
like, I'm not
I feel
drawing
like
this.
one thing I can't trace just because, like, I do all my figure work and everything else is
same
up
here,
for
same here.
grabs, you know? Like,
Mhm.
if I can trace something, it's going to look better and it's going to save me a ton of time and work on
for
figures,
sure.
you know?
Yeah, 100%. No, it's. I mean.
Yeah, and I think people are kidding themselves. Like, I don't know where this came from, this delusion that everyone, you know, draws everything out of their heads. Like, I remember, like, when I was coming up in comics, you know, 19 years old, we had this idea in our head that you couldn't use even photo reference.
That's
Yeah,
Like, you had to
I
draw
remember
a
that too.
van.
Yeah.
You had to, like, just know how to draw a van somehow. It's like,
no, that
you know,
seems
you couldn't
ridiculous.
look. Yeah, it was crazy. So people have this weird idea about what a comic book artist is, and it ain't.
Yeah. I remember kind of trying to never use reference either, and I was like, "What am I doing, you fool?"
You
Yeah.
fool. You
And then
fool.
the tracing. I tell when people at comic conventions come up and they're like, "What are some ways I can get better?" And this and that. I'm like, "Trace, just
Trace
trace,
it
Absolutely.
just trace for a while. Like don't make it yours, but like trace to learn." And I did that
Mhm.
growing up. Like I traced McFarlane comics and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and then it was cool to see. What I liked about tracing was like, yes, I'm tracing someone else's art, but it was like on the paper that I just drew on. I'm like, oh, so I actually am capable of it. I just don't know enough yet to draw like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think tracing to a degree gives you a certain understanding of objects and anatomy and characters, and then you translate that into your own work at a later time.
There's also that thing, like, you know, when people really start going on about tracing, it's like, oh, anyone could do this. Like, I would hands down bet, you know,
No.
a seasoned artist, his traced piece is going to look way better than
Oh yeah.
an amateur traced piece. You know,
100%.
there's so much about art that goes into that. Like,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
simple line can make
That's a good point, actually. That's a really good point.
Yeah, no, and I think it's like, what was I gonna say? I mean, I think the dangers is obviously if you're using someone's existing copyrighted material, that's obviously a path you shouldn't go down. Like if you like a famous photo or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But like if you're just using body poses, structures, buildings, whatever, just like take it, learn, ingest. This actually leads me back to I wanted to ask you earlier, Cary, because your figure work is so fantastic. Do you do like life drawing or anything like that, or is that something you haven't done in years? Are you just
Yeah,
kinda
it's been
like-
years.
Yeah.
I think when I first moved to Montreal, I did a little bit of life drawing.
Yeah,
But yeah, usually you're just too busy to And the last thing you want to do is go draw more.
Yeah. Do you keep a sketchbook or anything, or is it just like?
Nothing official, no. Like,
I'm the same way. Yeah.
no, honestly, like, if I'm gonna draw, it's gonna be something. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a finished something.
Yeah. I'm kind of.
Otherwise, it's like a waste of time for me. It's like
You're making me feel
do
better
this.
about myself now.
Yeah.
You guys are never going to learn anything ever again.
And how's your sketchbook coming along, Eric?
I have a sketchbook. I do a
Yeah?
lot of my doodles on there, and then
Yeah.
I like that because I can bring it everywhere, and it's not I don't have to charge it and shit. I just do a lot of sketch ideation with it and stuff. And then
Ideation.
when I start to
Interesting.
like it more, I'll transfer it over to the digital stuff. So
Oh, interesting.
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm basically better than you guys. Is what I'm saying.
Yes,
Right,
right. I'm getting that impression from
So,
you.
Thanks for being honest.
Yeah.
well,
and putting us in our place too. right?
well, safe space, but also a learning, teachable moment kind of.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. These beers are.
Oh
beer.
boy! Oh
That's
boy!
it. Broke the seal.
No,
All right, no. Our first guest to leave in the middle of a stream.
I like it. Doesn't give a shit. But that gives us free reign to do it then too, which is cool. So
Oh, you're gonna run off too and leave me here too?
no. You can't. Rob pops on. He becomes.
Yeah, it was just Rob staring at the screen. He's like, "So,
Oh my god! it's
they're
like-
all taking a piss."
We have less than 20 minutes. Holy shit!
I know, right?
Time
Oh my
flew.
god.
Ooh, fuck. I mean,
Thanks, Mama Deadhead. I just saw Mama Deadhead's comment. Her love of Stillwater. But also the other one, too, yes. Rob's highlighting them as we go. Fell lost of pastor. Oh my god, it was so crazy. I gotta watch that still. Oh, man. So, Eric, what are you working on right now? You're working on this week's installment of Arden?
Yeah, for Tuesday. Yeah, I really want to start trying to get ahead on these because I have so much other work I got to do. Like I said, I got to do the Dracula piece. At least I'm very happy with the sketch I've come up with for it. So that's a big step. And I've got kind of an idea I want to do for it. That's maybe not a little bit not typical, but like every one of these Kickstarter pieces, they kind of all had their own style, which I kind of like because
like you did a very Muka-esque thing for Cary.
Yeah. And I like the Muka stuff. Don't get me wrong, obviously, right? I love doing that stuff, but it's very time-consuming and very detail-oriented and stuff.
For sure.
But I think I got another idea for this one, so it's going to have elements of I think a lot of things that I like.
Sam brings up a good question, Eric. How's your Raid Anthology stuff coming along?
Sam, I need you to stop asking those questions. I'm not ready to answer that yet, but no, well, last Wednesday's meeting, I spent the day kind of. Or the evening trying to get kind of back into the Raid 4 because I was completely out of it with the launch of the weekly thing here. So
I'm actually surprised. This isn't a dig, but I'm actually surprised you guys didn't like bank a little bit ahead because having done webcomics, the grind.
Oh no, it is, man. We are feeling it. Don't worry. And actually, it's funny because I mentioned it to Joe Vereen. Joe Vereen. He was like, "Oh yeah, you guys gonna do online comics?" He's like, "Yeah." So you guys have like 2 or 3 months banked already? And we're like,
This is coming from Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, oh man.
No, but I think I was like, no, we have about 2 or 3 minutes banked. No, it's you know what? I love this challenge. I'm sitting down, I'm doing a lot more work, and I'm not fussing over everything. And I'm like, you know what? It's going to get better on its own by just sheer quantity.
Yeah.
And I know there's things I want to fix and do better, but I'm like, you know what? I'll get there.
So what you're saying is we're going to be doing a lot of late nights live drawing on as we go to meet some deadlines later this month. Is what
the next couple of weeks are going to be pretty intense.
Bananas.
So,
Gary,
if you want to join us on those, you're welcome to.
what is it? What's the deadline?
Well, we have to prep Raid 4. The anthology for the end of this month.
Okay.
To have it ready, and it's funny because artists, we're all artists. You know how it works. You have a year, you do nothing. You have 2 weeks, and then you don't have any sleep, and you just draw away. And
yeah.
So it happened with Raid 3, where
have you ever not done that? Have you ever beaten the game?
No. Let's be honest.
About that.
Every project is like. it's just like a grind. I think it's artists. I don't know if it's an artist thing.
Sam makes a good point because like Dax, yeah, like he draws every week, posts same day. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I want to get to. Like,
Yeah, he does.
I don't want to leave it for today. What I kind of would like to do is when we get further into more of these shows, is that I'm not stress drawing. That's what I'm not doing, but just more like I'm working on other projects that I need to do down the road. Not that I have to post it in a day or two, right, or tomorrow. So
I feel like I think artists. It's a twofold thing. We like to help each other out. It's a very awesome community. So like whether it's I'll do that. I'll do a cover for you. I'll do like a pinup. Or I'll do like a. And I agree to all those. And I got like some pinup I gotta do. I gotta do like a cover now. And then you're like, that'll take like a day, but not really. It takes like 2 or 3 days. You know what I mean?
It's like a lot of the work is spent in your head thinking about it first, right? Like,
but physically it also takes a while too.
No,
right?
On top of the actual energy needed for that, right?
But that's what I mean. Like realistically, like this is not a dig. But it's like Eric should just be working on the Monday update, and that's it. You know what I mean? And every so often, once you're ahead, then you work in like whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
I'm just as guilty as this as anybody else. Like we just love to draw, we love to create, we love to do shit, and we love to say yes. That's enough. You know what I mean?
I hate saying yes. I hate it.
But you probably do it a lot regardless. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're like, yeah, no problem. I'll do that thing. And then, but you don't like time manage and suddenly that thing becomes like
I knew this going in, even when I said yes to all these things, or even asked to be part of things. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to challenge myself.
Yeah.
I want to go for it. And I should be able to do this. Enough like less party time, less hanging out, more like sacrifice, time to get shit done. Because I want to grow and get somewhere. What's that?
I said less party time. I'm gonna make that T-shirt for you. Less party time. In quotes, and this is Eric Vedder in the bottom.
There's been a lot of nice days up here.
Yeah.
We got the pool, so I'm like, I'll just call my friends over. We'll have a couple drinks by the pool. We'll have a fire after. And there's been many of those days where I'm like, no, I actually have to get to work here. And so I'm like, that's good. I'm doing it because
you're a social beast, Eric. You're a social beast.
Well, I like people, man. You only live once, right? And with COVID, it's been very. If anything, it's been amplified the fact that you need to spend limiting. You need to spend time with people, right?
Yeah, no,
friends and family and stuff, and
especially now after years of like not doing it, right?
Oh, there's
whoa, hey now,
Wasabi, you making noise?
Wasabi's causing trouble.
Get out of my room, dog. This is a dog-free zone.
How old is Wasabi now?
Alrighty. Oh, there we go. So, anybody watch that Bob Ross documentary?
No, I want to. Is it good?
Yeah, totally good.
Man,
I heard that guy got fucked by his like.
He did big time.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's just you're just so angry with the Kowalskis. I think they're called Kowalskis.
Is that the people who own the rights to Bob Ross or whatever?
I'm like, it's such dirt, man.
How did they screw him? What happened?
Well, they own like his name and everything, and it's just nonsense. Just watch it. You guys should watch it. It's just frustrating when you read stuff like that, you know. And it happened. Sorry.
That was like. Do you guys know Drews Struzan?
Yeah.
He got messed or fucked over by his pastor or something like that.
What?
Or his agent took the majority of all that money from the 80s when he was at his prime.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Fucking hell.
Do you remember he was doing Marvel Comics stuff for a while?
Was he?
Yeah, he
Really?
did some. I don't want to say trading cards or covers or something. I think it was because he was broke.
Oh, jeez.
If I remember the book I read a long time ago correctly. I could be wrong on all these details. But
That's
Just making up this whole thing.
He's just like, I don't know what's going on.
You guys remember Steven Spielberg? Man, he got fucked. Just making up all kinds of shit. Cary Nord. I don't like to research, so I'm going to tell you all that stuff.
You just make it up. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do, right? That's all you got to do.
I love it. Cary, when are we going to see you again? Like, we're winding down. We got like 10 minutes here. Jeez.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to make it to the show
Fan Expo.
Hey, you're saying,
yeah.
you got to come to another raid retreat one of these days, buddy.
I was just there. You missed it.
I was gonna say, like, Cary dropped in, like, must have been 3 weeks ago, a month ago now, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, if Cary would have told me, I could have drove there and hung out with you guys. But no.
Yeah.
My favorite part was Cary texted me the day of. He's like, "Yeah, yo, I'm in town.
I'm here.
What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" It was a Friday. Like he came by noon, and we drank till midnight.
Oh, man.
I literally drank 40 ounces of tequila that night.
Wow.
Those are the best times when you're just
my God.
unplanned, and then you're like regretting your life's decisions.
It was ridiculous.
I don't even remember half the night. Yeah, that was brutal.
Fuck, I was bombed by the time I left.
Also, I'm not drinking as much too when I'm like now that I'm, COVID and all that. Like I really got out of the habit of having drinks.
But you were putting it down when you were here. I think you were maybe not doing it at home, but.
Yeah. I still have the instinct. Don't worry.
It's still there.
It's still there. Don't get me wrong. It's all good.
Is there anything you want to promote more or anything there, Cary, as we start to wind down here? Like,
so yeah, we got Psycho Gorman coming up next at Lethal, and then Fol'Klor is still going on Kickstarter. So you could go there right now if you wanted to, and
and we'll have actually the link at the end of the show too. It's in the body of our text as well, so people can find it easily.
Yeah,
Sweet. Yeah, that's kind of like all that's going on for me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I mean, that's a lot already as it is.
Yeah, I just did like my cover for Psycho Gorman, and then I got like a little 6-page story in there.
Nice. Did you write that one too, or
no? Working with the film's writer, I believe.
Oh shit! Cool.
Yeah, man. It's really cool. Yeah, and then when you see what a guy like that can do with 6 pages versus what I do with like 30 pages, it's like he packs. He's so efficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
that's.
And then you start appreciating the skill of writing, which is something I've never really dived into very much before. But like, economy of word is a thing, just like economy of line for art.
Oh no,
100%. Totally.
Yeah.
Like to that point, man. Like getting a writer on Arden has just been next level, game changing. Like
What is are the Psycho Gorman guys? Are they Canadian or out of Montreal, or are they international?
Toronto based. Andy knows more about. He's been like the contact.
Okay.
But I believe they're in Toronto, or some of them anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know what it is that you guys are talking about. I've seen the artwork. And I'm like, what is this Psycho Gorman stuff?
It reminds me of like trauma horror from like the 1980s. But I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
That's the impression I get from the trailer. Kind of like that comedic horror. Does that make sense? Am I wrong on that? I don't know. But
yeah, it's like almost kind of campy, but it's sophisticated too. You know what I mean?
Nice.
It's got like an element of humor that makes it all work.
Nice. I look forward to checking it out. Actually,
Yeah.
I watched the trailer, and it looked like a lot of fun. So
Absolutely.
it'll be right up there with Velocipaster.
What is that? Sorry. What's Velocipaster?
Last week we had Becca on, and she mentioned this movie Velocipaster.
Oh
which,
shit!
Like a pastor from a church who turns into a velociraptor.
Obviously.
Well, I got a buddy that did a film called Sharkosaurus.
Oh yeah, I've come across that too.
Have you?
I haven't watched it. I've just seen the ads for it. Yeah.
Anyways, it feels like Velocipaster and Sharkosaurus should be in the same universe.
A little crossover action there. Oh man.
We got here. Oh, look at that! Look at that cover art there.
There you go. That's
amazing.
Brilliant.
Ninjas too.
with
That's amazing.
ninjas. That's like a Velocipaster wasn't enough. They had
Man, there's nothing more 80s than ninjas on a
know,
movie
right?
poster.
Oh, I know, right? I loved like every ninja movie when I was a kid. Like,
Oh yeah,
blew my mind.
Shio Kasugi, man, he was the shit.
Yeah.
I actually told a friend, in all seriousness, in grade 7, he asked me, he's like, "So what do you want to be when you get older?" I'm like, "I want to be a ninja." Like that was like a job I could just do. Coming out of grade 8, like and going into high school, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a ninja. Like I really believed that was like my future. I'm like, what? Like who? And I never took any martial arts. I just watched a lot of movies, and I'm like, no, but I know what I want to be, and that's it.
Never say never, Eric. You still have time.
Yeah.
You could be like the ninja of London, Ontario.
Yeah.
Traversing all the low rises in downtown, throwing shuriken at beer drinkers.
More of a sidewalk ninja, like avoid heights and with tall buildings.
Have you ever seen Italian Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That's the kind of a ninja I imagine Eric being. Just like Italian Spider-Man, but it'd be like Eric Ninja. Yeah. I don't know. All right, man. We're almost hitting 10 p.m. here.
Want to wrap it up?
What are we saying?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
I gotta keep drawing. I gotta keep drawing, but I mean,
I'll keep drawing after with you, but we'll make it a private affair.
Yeah, maybe Cary wants to join us, or he wants to actually spend time with his lady.
Yeah, who knows? But dude, it was awesome having you on.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah, thank you, guys.
No, my pleasure, dude. And good luck. I mean, you don't need the luck. You're killing it already on the Kickstarter. But everybody who's watching us should check out Fol'Klor.
Beautiful work.
I keep talking it up, and I seriously think, not to diminish anything you've done in the past, but this is some of the most kick-ass work I've seen you do since I've known you.
Oh, thank you.
And
Totally.
I'm excited to have this book in my hands. And,
Yeah, man. Thank you.
No problem, dude. And yeah, so good luck. I hope it.
Yeah,
I hope you crest 100K. And,
oh, you're gonna pass it. I feel it.
And you get to live off of some of that. Enjoy your rewards. Yeah. Make an awesome book, and and then we see book 2 at the end of the year.
Yeah, in like 7 years, right? Book
7 years. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Cary, nice seeing your face, buddy. I miss you. I can't wait to be in person. I'd love to come up and visit one of these days. Maybe
Montreal road trip.
Maybe next summer. We can come out there and have some fun again. But
we'll visit the Lethal studio.
Yeah, dude.
And all the people that stopped by. We had Sam, of course, always here.
Mama Deadhead.
We had Will. We had Brian. We had J Dogs.
You're confused there.
And who's the other guy? Crawford J. All right. Yeah, good times. Thanks for coming, everyone. And most of all, thanks, Cary, for letting us talk your ear off and show you some bad artwork. But you're a truly great person and super inspiring, buddy. So
thanks, brother.
And well lit. And well lit.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right.
Till next week. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Cheers, bros.
Woo! Thanks, Rob.
Nice. That's fantastic.